Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crazy Talk. In today's episode, I wanted to talk about finding and accepting ourselves. I'm going to be doing things a little different. Today, I decided I will be crocheting while talking to you guys because I am trying to crochet some blankets so I can provide at least a few people with some warmth this winter. But finding the time is just so hard to do that. So I thought, what better time than while I'm talking to you guys? Um, Homelessness is very close to my heart. I spent a good chunk of my life homeless, constantly hopping from house to house, not knowing where my next meal was going to come from. Um, yeah. So I spent time in a homeless shelter. So helping the homeless is just very dear to my heart. And I recently joined a Facebook group, and they really shine light on homelessness in the Richmond area, and it just breaks my heart. I had no idea how bad it is. There are people sleeping in the cold in 30 degrees. I was blessed enough to have a car when it was that cold. And I was only sleeping outside during the heat. And I was still fortunate enough to have a job and be able to afford a tent to sleep in. And not even, some people can't even afford that. Um, so do me a favor. If you have a skill, you can make blankets, clothes, or if you have the means to donate, whether that be money or old clothes, old toys. Look into that. There's a lot of need in America. Stay tuned for that episode because we will be addressing that shortly in a few episodes. But anyways,
abundance flows to me when I get out of my own way. Life is so easy when I focus on what is great. I am worthy of reciprocated energy. I am worthy of a love that loves as deep as me. I am worthy of aligning with my higher self. I am worthy of desiring miracles.
Today's episode, finding and accepting ourselves. It is so important for our mental health, for our self-development, and our overall well-being to know who we are and love ourselves. And unfortunately for too many of us, that's not the reality. With BPD, it's very easy to get lost in other people. We usually pick up and adopt characteristics of others close to us or those we see on TV because these are traits we like. So to us, if we take that trait and, we mold ourselves to it, then that means people will like us, right? No, because it's fake. It's inauthentic. You're just copy pasting. And you're not really who you are. And that's why we will grow close to people and, kind of not really like them. We'll know in our head that we don't like them. They're just not our vibe, but we feel guilty for doing that. We feel guilty for not liking this person, and we stay in the relationship because, hey, they like us. So we take what we can get, right? Well, I'm here to tell you it's time. It's time to learn who you are, figure yourself out, and love yourself because we can't expect others to do it for us. And, it's come to my attention that I often switch from you, we, I, perspectives is what it's called, I think. Sorry, I can't help it. It's just the way I talk. I'll try to do better, but it is what it is for now. But yeah, so anyways, it's so hard to know ourselves when we spent so long hiding ourselves. masking ourselves to be what we thought others wanted us to be, doing everything that we thought would get us liked. Or for people like, especially in the LGBT community, doing things that we thought would hide or mask the gayness inside of us, right? So we spent all of our childhood years neglecting our own needs, neglecting our own wants, and most of us were stuck in survival mode that we didn't even have the opportunity to discover what we were supposed to be or who we were supposed to be. We couldn't go out, we couldn't have friends. We were just focused on surviving right now, to be worried about, socializing and learning new skills and really figuring out the world and figuring out who we are supposed to be, which is the whole point of our childhood, So if you're like me, you're a 26-year-old something person still freezing up at the question, what do you like? Describe yourself to me. What do you do outside of work? It's impossible. And it's so awkward for me because I don't know. And I don't know how to describe to people that I don't know. I don't know myself to know what I like. I feel weird liking anything because it's just new and foreign to me, But I am here to tell you, I think I'm repeating myself again, that it's time to take that time and figure it out. There's no better time than now. I mean, I guess the past would have been the best, but like I said in another episode, we can't keep focusing on the past. It's time we stay present, focus on what we can change now, what we can do now to work better for a better future, right? So how do we figure ourselves out? Like, what do we do? That's a loaded question, and it's really hard, especially in today's society in America. It's very hard to do anything. Most of us can't even afford food, let alone going out and exploring ourselves, right? I spent 4 years in this house just trying to get to the position I am now, where I can explore my wants, explore my needs, and figure out who I am. I'm 26, and I still can't tell you what my hobbies are. Crocheting, I guess, I like to crochet, but it's just too hard. But it's so important that we take the time to be ourselves, and learn to be okay with ourselves. And unfortunately, you can do that while in a relationship. If you are already in a relationship, you can do that. It is so important for us to recognize and own that individualism in a relationship. It's actually unhealthy to be so codependent that you can't even be left alone. I don't know about you, but I need my space. I need my time. And I cannot give up everything that I want to do for somebody else's wants and needs. And that's not being selfish. That's self-care. That's doing what I need to keep my mental health up. So if I need to take a break and I just need to do nothing for crochet for a couple hours, or I just need to watch a quirky movie that my husband doesn't like, fiance, I don't use that word, that my partner doesn't like, so be it. We don't always have to do everything together. And, that's something he actually struggled with. He didn't like the idea of not being together all the time. And he didn't really like me going out doing things by myself. But I'm like, listen, I need me time. I love you, but I need me time. And that's okay. And you know what? He learned to respect that and be okay with that. And then he'll even tell me, like, if he's having a hard time, like, hey, I'm going out with some friends. He'll tell me, like, he's having a hard time, but you'll see him breathe. He's like, I'm just gonna learn to be okay with it. And that's okay. Like, that's good. That's progress. And that's what more people need to acknowledge. You don't need to be together with your partner 24/7. It's okay to take you time. It's okay to have different likes and wants. It's okay. But for most of us, we spent a lot of our childhoods being shamed for the activities we liked. We were made fun of for doing the things we did. For me, all my music was gay. I listened to a lot of Mariah Carey and Beyonce. Oh, Nicki Minaj, girl, honey, you were my everything. You got me through so much in my childhood, I tell you what. But it was always, why do you listen to girl music? They're singing about boys. You're not supposed to like that. So, you learn to hide that. And I hid it by overcorrecting and playing, the hardcore rap that I did not like and was just cuss, cuss, cuss. And I would put that on blast for my parents to hear, like, oh, hear me now. It's not gay. And they would say nothing, nothing. But anyways, so yeah, we spent all that time just like changing ourselves to please others, whether it be our parents or siblings or friends. There's a lot of pressure in school to conform and be like everybody else. But individualism, I hope I'm saying, or individuality, I don't know English, sorry. It should be celebrated. But I'm getting off topic again. It's okay to spend time separately and have different ones with your partner. It's actually healthy and normal. So even if you are in a relationship, you can explore yourself, and that's so important. But if you are not in a relationship or you're in an unhealthy relationship that you don't want to be in, it's time to spend some time alone. hmm and find out who you are. I did a lot of my soul searching at 21. Well, I wouldn't say it's soul searching because I was still a feisty little thing. And I think it was actually like, I can't remember. I think I was 21 maybe. 2019. This was the first time I have ever lived alone. And this is not, I wasn't like by myself because I was way too broke for that, but I did have roommates. I moved in with these coworkers of mine, these two lesbian girls. Shout out y'all for showing me what a shitty roommate was like. Anyways, but yeah, so that was the first time I moved with them, and that was the first time I had like lived by myself. I always felt the need that to be with somebody. So for years, I spent years in a toxic friendship because she showed me the attention I needed, and I didn't want to ruin it. So I spent years being miserable, taking care of her. I caught charges for this girl. I was literally at one point at my lowest, right before I moved in with this girl, with the two girls. We were in a hotel and I was the only one working. I was working at a Motel 6 as a housekeeper, working 10 to 12 hours a day. Making minimum wage, so could barely even afford the hotel rent, let alone food. She didn't have no SNAP, no food stamps. Her baby daddy wasn't working, nothing. So I was the only one working and providing for me, her, her two kids, and her baby daddy. I was the thinnest I had ever been because I was not eating. I was obviously giving my food to the kids because, that's who I am. I'm generous and I would, they're not my kids. I'm not going to let them starve. Okay. So we would just do some crazy shit when we are in desperate need of attention. Right. And we will put up with anything. And that when we think that's what we deserve, because we can't see the value in ourselves, we will put up and accept anything. And that's why finding and accepting yourself is so vital to thrive. It's important. It's literally, you cannot do anything. You can't heal if you don't know who you are, right? And, this isn't just like a 1 week or a day. or even a month process. This is like, honestly, it's a lifelong journey. Finding yourself, knowing you, it's a lifelong journey. It's been years, and I'm, even though I knew I could accept who I was before, I'm still finding new things to evolve myself and to shape who I am. Still finding things that bring me the joy I've been searching for. Um, so it's a lifelong journey. Um, but accepting yourself, that that does not have to be a lifelong journey. And it is hard work, and it does take a lot of unlearning. Um, I would say maybe it is a lifelong journey because that's where your like affirmations come in. And some days your brain will just be like, oof, you look fat, or oof, you're disgusting. God, my throat. And it's hard work to just, remind yourself to be kind to yourself and tell yourself that you're not disgusting. Um, and that's accepting yourself. Like, you have to really accept who you are to be able to change that voice in your head from saying you're disgusting, you're fat, you're nasty. You're like, no, I'm a beautiful human being. That's all you got. That's all I got. That's all I say. That's all I say. So I'm a beautiful person. I'm a kind person. I'm a nice person. I'm a loving person. I'm not a bitch. I'm not an asshole. I'm not nasty. I'm not despicable. I'm not everything my mother told me I was. You are not all those things your parents told you were. All those negative comments people call you, all those names they call you, it does not affect you as if you know who you are. You could, whatever. It is what it is. And you don't have to let them affect you. And that's why it's so important. I feel like I'm on a fucking broken record, but that's why it's so important. And I've gotten way off topic from how we can do this. I just now realized that that's where I was going when I got distracted. That's the ADHD in me. Okay. I don't know what that was, but I did it. It's very hard in today's society to be able to take the time to know yourself because we're so conditioned that we have to work all the time. We literally, well, it's the way of life now. You have to work all the time. You have barely any time for your family. In fact, I was reading an article the other day that's saying like we are facing the loneliest generation ever because they get on average about, I can't remember the actual number, but I want to say it was like 1 to 4, I think it was 1 hour a day, on average that kids spend face-to-face time with their parents. And that should scream crisis to every single one of you. 1 hour a day. And when I think about it, I'm like, it's very, very true. Even though I try to play games, we watch movies, but it's still very hard to get that face-to-face time in because between school, homework, chores, and between mine and Chris's crazy schedule, it's damn near impossible. It's impossible. So how can we expect parents to be teaching and raising these kids to be, great adults if they can't even get if they can't even see them, So that being said, if we can't even if we have no time, how are we supposed to do the work on ourselves, right? How are we supposed to spend time to find ourselves? You just have to grasp at like whatever time you do have, unfortunately, whether that be with your family or anything, 10 minutes a day to just sit there and be quiet, and let your mind think, I guess you can call that meditating, and trying new things. That's so important, trying new things. I was very resistant on a lot of the things Chris wanted to do. And that was like walking, outside stuff, hiking. come to find out, I love it. And it's more than just like, changing myself for him. That's a completely different thing. When you hate something, but you're just doing it because somebody wants to. And that's okay, because doing things that somebody else wants to do is actually a good thing. But you shouldn't make that your whole identity just to please people. There's a difference. And there's a fine line, you BPD people, we don't have to go to extremes all the time. But I would have never saw myself as the hiking type or going camping every year for our anniversary had it not been for him, honestly. But I also had to be open and willing to try new things, which I wasn't really, but I was. It was like, I put up a fight, but I did it, and I really felt the endorphins there. I was so at peace and so happy outside that I just realized that I love it. And, I don't get the time to do it as much as I'd like, but it's nice. I highly recommend it. Going to those state parks, they have some great trails. And outside is very important for mental health, okay? But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just, you really need to find the things that make you feel the endorphins kicking in your brain. Don't worry about what other people are going to think, and don't worry about being alone. That's the kicker for me. For so long, like even as an adult, if I didn't have anybody to go with me, I was not doing it. But now, even though I always have someone, Chris, I'll go out to eat by myself. If he's not really feeling it, but I really want to, I'll go. He doesn't really like doing social things, but he's getting better. But, it's just, before I was never comfortable with that. And, that situation was really more of a test for myself and me trying to progress in my, whatever you call it. Progress in my, I don't fucking know. Just, get there. I wanted to work on myself. That's the big thing for me, social anxiety and not being comfortable in myself. So that was the push to get me to go out to eat by myself. And I had a fucking blast, okay? And I didn't have to sit there on my phone, which usually I'm very big on using my phone as my comfort. So when I'm out in public, I'll just grab my phone. I'll even pretend to be on the phone to get me out of the face of somebody, okay? Please don't look at me. Don't. That was always me. But this time, it's like mind over matter, right? So I did it. And it was I've never been to the restaurant. I had no idea what to do. I was terrified, but, I did it. And I had a blast. And that's really that's what I recommend for getting to learn yourself and know yourself, is you need to learn to be okay with yourself. You need to do things by yourself. And it's okay to do things with other people. It just does not have to be all the time. And it's because, you want them around, or you have things in common, not just a filler to feel that anxiety or fear in your heart, because that doesn't do anything but mask. So, if the message hasn't been clear, it's just your time to shine, okay? Don't let all those years of suppression, all those years of being told what you were capable of, what was right and wrong to like, do not let that stop you. Don't let that continue to be a hurdle in your life. Do not let that rain on your parade. It's time to figure out you. It's time to do you. And it's time to live your best life. I promise it's so nice to be able to just do things you like, without feeling shame, and which reminds me to mention that, with coming and the accepting part of yourself, once we like kind of find ourselves, you kind of learn to accept yourself, really. But you really have to get rid of, with accepting yourself, you really have to kind of get rid of that voice in your head, like I said earlier, which is usually the person that was always commenting on us and saying all these negative things, pinpointing every wrong thing about us. You know, they identified everything that made us different. They nitpicked at it. And, you know, that has a way to make you feel really self-aware and self-conscious. Makes you feel like everybody's just watching your every move and can see every little mistake, kind of like an eyeglass just watching you like an ant. That's what it feels like. And that's why it's so important to not just nitpick and not just comment on every little thing you see. Who cares? We didn't ask your opinion. If you don't like the shorts we're wearing, we don't care. We're not wearing them to please you. We are wearing them for us. If you don't like the crocheting I'm doing, good thing I'm not crocheting for you. You don't have to look at me do it. If you don't like the hairstyle that I wear, good thing it's not for you. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to wear it. It doesn't affect you. Who the fuck are these people to try to tell us what we should and should not be doing? Who are these people to tell us what we should and should not like? They don't know. They don't know, and it's wrong. Shame on you for trying to project and push your wants and needs on us. You know, and I get being a parent wanting your kid to turn out a certain way. You know, I wish my son would play a sport. I really wish he was into some things that I liked, especially Harry Potter, but he flat out refuses. But I just have to accept it. He is an individual. He likes what he likes, and he doesn't what he doesn't, and that's okay. Do I wish he would wear less ball shorts and more nicer looking clothes? Absolutely. But you know, I tried forcing him, and he really was like, I don't like the fact that you're trying to make me wear clothes that I don't like. And he was like, I feel like I get no say in my life. And that was really an eye opener for me. I was like, okay. You know, okay, I will not say nothing. You don't have to wear these pants if you don't want them. You can wear ball shorts when it's 20 degrees out if you want. Who am I? Right? So we just need to be some more aware of what we're saying. And if you were the one that was constantly told what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing, what was too girly, what was too gay, you know, it's just, you need to unlearn it. You need to let yourself be you. It's okay. Love yourself, because not everybody can do it. Nobody can do it for you. That constantly searching for the love that you could get right here in your own being does nobody good. So that is my PSA for today. I think I did some good crocheting. I really liked crocheting. I feel like I felt more comfortable. I would love some feedback, of course. None of y'all do, but I would love some feedback. Do you feel like it's weird that I'm crocheting? I guess if you're listening to my podcast, you would have no difference. So, yeah. Oh, follow my Instagram, Facebook, and you can get your daily affirmations there. Okay? That's all. Once again, please, please, please. I'm begging. Please, please, please like, share, comment, leave a review. I want to know what you think. I'm a very self-conscious person. I thrive on feedback. You know, I'll keep posting regardless, but, you know, hearing that people like it, you know, makes me want to post more. So let me know. Okay. Bye. That's all. I'm done being weird.
Abundance flows to me when I get out of my own way. Life is so easy when I focus on what is great. I am worthy of reciprocated energy. I am worthy of a love that loves as deep as me. I am worthy of aligning with my higher self.